Hi, I'm Seamless, and I'm very quickly going to talk about the Carnage Razer tutorial thing that happened recently, just because people are saying some things about it that just piss me off pretty heavily, because it's just maddening. So, if you don't know about it, I linked the video in the description, so you can go watch it. The video is a little cringeworthy. I'm not going to say it's not cringeworthy. It's kind of funny to watch at some points, but it's basically the producer Carnage going over about how he does his stuff. And it's about 808s or whatever. That's not even music that I care about, so it's fine. But the general consensus is that he's an idiot and that he shouldn't be talking about this stuff, and that what he's doing is wrong, and he should stop producing, and like, oh my god, all this stuff, and all sorts of just hatred. And I'm here to tell you that you guys need to relax. And it's not even that I'm going to say that he's actually a genius. I've listened to his music. I don't really like his music. No disrespect to the man, but like, I just don't. It's my opinion. But like, if what he does accomplishes that, then that's how it's done. And in particular, I actually just like, I made I tried to I made a comment on a YouTube video on the actual video. You can go find it if you want. And people think I'm trolling. They think that I'm not serious when I'm saying that you guys are reading way more out of this video than you ever should have. And that's because this video is not about a man trying to show you, how to make 808s or whatever. It's about him, how he does what he does. That's all it is. It's about, like, this is what I do. This is how I do things. It doesn't matter if he doesn't know what he's doing. And that's my main problem with this, is that people think you need to know what he's doing. And if you follow me at all, you already know where I'm going with this. You already know that this is basically another more angrier version of, if it sounds good, it is good. And that you don't need to know you don't even need to know half of what I know, not even close to half. You don't even know like 8% of what I know to make that stuff and to have a career as a producer or musician. You don't need to know. And that's because music is easier to make now than it's ever been in the history of mankind. And as a result, this means you don't need to know enough about it to, as much as people used to know in order to do some stuff. That's just the fact of the matter. Like, he doesn't need to know. He clips in the video, and people are just being like, oh my god, clipping is so bad. Like, you don't know about music production if you think that nobody clips. If you think that none of the high level super producers have clipped all of their shit. Like, if you don't know that, then you just need to shut up right now. And like, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, all this stuff, and people are getting so up in arms about it, about just being like, he's giving bad information. It's like, what new producers are going to say they think he's an idiot? And like, here's the rub about all of this, is that as much as he doesn't know about what he's doing, again, if he gets where he wants to go with it, then that's how it's done. There's nothing secret or hidden about being like, oh, well, from point A to point B, he must have had someone else make his tracks. Like, if you've watched any of my tracks from scratch, you know that like, tracks in the beginning very rarely sound like what they do at the end. So much shit happens to it that like, it's almost hard to tell. And by the way, this reaction y'all are having to him talking about this stuff is why producers almost never talk about this stuff. And it's not because they don't know what they're talking about. It's not because they don't know what they're doing. It's because they know that if they actually showed how easy the stuff is, everyone would think they're an idiot and that they didn't actually produce the music that they made. Because you guys spend a lot of time trying really hard to complicate I used to be that. I used to do that. I used to be mad about like simple stuff ending up in like massively, high level productions, but that's just how the world works now, because it's easy. Producing music is easy. Producing, especially the kind of music that Carnage makes, is even easier than easy stuff. Like, it's really, I don't understand why this is hard to figure out for you guys. Is that like, if it looks dumb and stupid, that's because you don't need to be a genius to make this stuff. You don't need to have a professional engineering degree to make this stuff. And I don't understand what more you want out of that. That's just all there is to that. And then there's actually kind of another angle to this beyond that. I hope I don't make this video longer than 10 minutes, because I actually can't make videos longer than 10 minutes anymore. But the thing about it is that as much as a producer might know what they're doing, they might not know how to talk about it. Like, a lot of like, people who are way better at this stuff than I am would actually be not even a little as good as talking about it as I am, because they spend all their time doing stuff and not all their time talking about stuff. So why would they, honestly? And like, how good do you think you would be at explaining some of this stuff, especially the low level stuff, the stuff that you spend all your time doing that you just do and forget about because you're spending more time thinking about like the higher level workings of how FM synthesis works. You don't have time to figure out what gain staging actually is in definition. You have no time to figure out, the difference between RMS and peak metering. Like, you don't need to know that stuff. You really don't. And like, I've personally encountered so many people who are just like, they are actually like trained engineering professionals, and they'll poop on any music made in the last 10 years, and they'll talk about like, you gotta separate your mixing and mastering and minus 6 dB and not clipping and the kicks are this, whatever. There's so many rules about some things, but I gotta tell you, a lot of the music that you guys want to make didn't give a shit about any of this. And like, gone are the days when people need to have $10,000 an hour mastering engineers to just produce stuff that makes money. Like, you don't. That doesn't need to happen anymore. And it's actually a little surprising that people who want to make the kind of music that Carnage makes, that actually is paying attention to the kind of music that Carnage makes, would actually like assume that you did need to know all this kind of stuff for this to work. It's a little insane. It's just a little bit insane. And so to everybody, like, I mean, if you want to make fun of Carnage for like kind of tripping over his words, that's, it's whatever, that happened. But if you were insinuating that like what he was doing is wrong, which is like how it's a video about how he does what he does. Whatever he does is right. It doesn't matter what he does. He could have like ran his phone through a blender and recorded that and made that a track. And if that's how he makes his tracks, that's how he makes his tracks. The video never purported to be anything other than that. So damn. But like, so there's that. And like, if you're saying about like, oh, he's just, how could he be like, someone actually on my Facebook page told me not to support somebody who got to be famous by not knowing what he's doing. And again, I'm just saying, like, guess what? You don't need to know what you're doing to do it. You've never, like, how many of you could actually explain enough to teach someone else how to do all the super low level stuff? It's why when I started doing tutorials, I didn't talk about the basic stuff. I only talked about like whatever stuff I was doing at the time, usually the FM example I gave. I only talked about that because that's what I had the most immediate relevant experience in. I didn't do the basic stuff until people practically begged me to do it years later, because I was like, whatever, other people do it. But like, it's just, I don't know how to talk about it. Like, I know how to do it. I have the muscle memory, but I don't know. Like, I had to learn. I had to go research the stuff. And I guarantee you, when Razer goes to contact people, they don't, I mean, what kind of research are they going to do into how good tutorials are? You know what they probably did? They probably looked up tutorials, and the most popular tutorials on YouTube are all dumbass trash videos, people going, how to sound like Skrillex and 2 easy moves and those kinds of things. Those are the ones that get the views. Those are the ones they're going to find. They're going to go, and they're going to be their idea of how tutorials go, because it works. But people are just getting, it's so open arms about the perceived lack of knowledge of people who are famous, and thinking that they are less of a producer for it, and they're not. And also, it's an extraordinarily naive opinion to think that like how successful you are is tied directly to how good you are at whatever it is you're successful at. And if you think that's the case, you need to like, pay attention to the world you live in. Yeah, God, so much crap over the last couple of days. I just can't even take it sometimes. Anyway, I really hope this was short enough. If not, I'll speed it up at editing. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.